the crux of their team last game.
That's right. It did ridiculous amounts of work, and having the Amumu initiating so strongly, but having the Fizz to follow up and the Zed to follow up just did a lot of work. And they may not ban the Orianna even now that they've opted for a Fizz instead, and they have gone for the Sejuani.
Yeah, Sejuani banned all 3 games also. Rek'Sai banned 2 games. We'll get to see what the first pick is here. That might give us an insight. No, Janna, possibly once again.
I don't think you'll be getting an insight here. They love their first pick, Janna. It's a very passive support. It has absolutely nothing wrong with the champion. There's no real counter to it. Besides, trying to kill the AD carry that the Janna is supporting is the only real counter. They're not revealing a whole lot with that, so we'll see what Sin look to do here in response. Yeah,
Janna's always such a great, safe first pick. Doesn't reveal too much. Just shows that you want someone to protect your AD carry. Maybe a little, showing that you want to protect the AD carry a little too much. Might lean towards them thinking maybe another Kalista or something.
Well, you'd think that, but then we look at the last game that Fortnite had, and they just put a Sivir with it.
Yeah, definitely.
They completely disregarded their bot lane and went for the mid, top, and jungle synergy to win the game, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, we saw that the bot lane did get pretty dominated in the early stages, but it was enough to carry them through. But we see a Vi locked in here, the first Vi we've seen this series.
Yeah, and the Sivir taken away from Fortnite, which is worth noting as well.
Oh, of course.
Getting rid of that, it's still a strong first pick. You can put any support you want with a Sivir, and it should be fine. Definitely a strong hero, very strong at wave clearing and pushing and trading 1v1 early. The Vi.
Yeah, the Vi, the Assault and Battery. When you play Vi, it's very straightforward. You can read the champion like a book. She's going to Vault Breaker in, Assault and Battery the backline. Like, it's going to be Janna's job to protect that backline once the Assault and Battery has hit.
Yeah, that's right. Key word, the Vi's going to engage.
Yeah.
They've now got their engage.
Yeah.
They've got the Sivir to back up that engage with the ultimate. What are they going to pick with that will allow the Vi to not just be blown up and have them walk over the rest of the team?
And we see one of the kings of the jungle returning. It is Jarvan, possibly locked in here for Naya. Moya is hovering over that Lucian, another staple AD carry bot lane champion who in his day still even is just ranked so highly amongst top ADCs.
Yeah, Lucian has an immensely powerful late game, and it's definitely respectable once he gets to that stage. Laning phases Lucian, still very strong, having the auto attack, the double hit. And I think it's a favorable matchup for a Lucian into a Sivir as well, now I think about it.
Yeah, there's not much that Sivir can spell shield aside from the piercing light to really give her an edge in this fight. And along with Janna, the Tornado, pretty obvious where it's going to come in. She's not going to be really using that, just more to break the shield. So the spell shield may be a little bit wasted in this bot lane.
Yeah, I think it's very hard to spell shield a piercing light first and
definitely.
foremost. And the Janna's going to be using the shield on the Lucian when he uses the piercing light and the double auto. So very hard to spell shield, but if you can do it, then go for your life. You know,
that's a good chunk of damage you'll be saving yourself.
Exactly right.
And we see the Maokai and the Thresh locked in. So we have our bot lane, we have our jungle, and we have our top. Maokai, another really meta, super strong top laner, gives you everything you want in a champion. A lot of health, a lot of mana, a lot of defensive stats from that ultimate, provided to the entire team as well.
That's right, super tank. And now you've got the super tank with the Vi, which will help a lot for the Vi initiations. Even the Thresh will be able to help a bit, having the lantern that you can throw out, or just engaging with the hook yourself. The response right now that they're hovering is a decent response, and we'll wait to see if they pick that or not first, though. The Jarvan. A favourite of Naya.
Yeah, definitely.
But phased out a little bit in popularity lately. You haven't seen a lot of Jarvans.
Yeah, he doesn't fare too well with the new tank items, and he falls off pretty quickly once they get a few health items under their belt. So it will be interesting to see if he can maybe go for a nice level 2 gank to snowball a lane, because Jarvan, very proficient with those 2 EQ flag and drag. Oh, but the Vlad at the last minute. So this is a Vlad mid, I do believe.
Yes, it does look like it's going to be... It's either Vlad or Lulu mid. It's really hard to say until they actually swap and we see what they lock in. Could well be either. I do think that they've played a bit of Lulu top, so I wouldn't be surprised if that was to come out. Same with the Vlad. It's very strong mid. It also has its place in the top lane. So we'll wait to see what they actually decide on, but we need to see the last pick from Sin here before we come to that conclusion.
Yeah, it will be interesting. Lulu provides exactly what you need against Vi. You know which target Vi is going for. You know which target you're going to Lulu ult. So that's going to be a really easy target for Lulu to decide. And once Vi hits that, the knock-up's going to come out, that extra health. She may have just signed her own death warrant.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got the Lulu with the Vladimir as well. So the Finnish team comes from both teams now. Is it the last pick? Was an Azir?
An Azir. Something we haven't seen in a long time since they kind of nerfed him out of the viability of competitive play, but fine-tuned him a little bit up to fit into the mage role.
Yeah, fine-tuned him a little bit, a lot. So tiny amounts of fine-tuning has finally found himself back into a position of power, and the new Azir, well, not the new Azir, basically the old Azir just tuned a little bit, is still a very strong champion. We've seen it played a fair bit in competitive internationally and less much locally, so it's nice to see the Azir being picked up finally and by Rymeister.
Yeah, very versatile champion. Can, even if he is losing that lane, lose that early tower, will be able to provide himself with an extra one, which also warrants some aggression. You can push right up into a lane and know that you've got that extra bit of damage to fall back on. So it will be interesting to see how they play this Azir, because anyone can be a good Azir player, but I feel like the ultimate separates a lot from the good from the great.
Yeah, definitely. And the Azir has the innate ability that he's going to push if you're looking to poke as Azir, just because it's an AoE cleave that hits every single minion in that line. So it's going to put him in a position where it's a little bit awkward. He may end up getting ganked. And we'll see how he manages to survive those ganks. Obviously, you've got the dash and the ultimate available coming out at level 6 that may enable you to live. But it's not that easy to be in an Azir lane as the opponent either.
Yeah, a lot of Azir's defensive stats do come out from being aggression, because if you are able to hit someone with that dash, you get yourself a nice little bit of shield, which when you're being aggressed on can be a little bit deceptive to your opponent. If you're able to get in there, get the knock up, get the shield. He took exhaust, so not really going to be that much of a formidable kill in a one-on-one, but we have been seeing a lot of Azir's building the Luden's Echo. Just more cleave damage out of that.
Yeah, and with the Luden's Echo coming out, I think that was around the same time that they tweaked the Azir. We've seen a lot more Azirs coming out. It's suddenly become a lot more popular. Same with even AP Kog'Maw as an example. Didn't think it had come from anywhere, and suddenly it's just popular because someone's done it with a Luden's Echo, and it's made it seem a lot more viable. But
yeah, it's always interesting to see how new items just can affect champions' viability, like the movement speed and the extra cleave, or splash damage rather. It's just super good on so many champions. We saw it built on Fizz last game. Not a champion you see it on that often, but it was just helping him get that extra bit of damage to finish him off.
Yeah, exactly. And the point you made, it's interesting to see how new items affect how new champions come into the meta. How about the Cinderhulk as an example?
Yeah.
All of these champions, Sejuani even, coming out of nowhere from rise and fall of popularity, has just gone from the bottom to the top again, and suddenly because of one item, back to popularity.
Yeah, I don't think I saw a Sejuani since release until the Cinderhulk came out. And Gragas also, another champion that's just benefited so much off this extra health. So yeah, Cinderhulk probably the most impactful item we've seen the last few years.
Yeah, maybe. We've got the teams locked in right now, so we can have a look at the team of Fortnite and finally make an assessment on where the Vlad and the Lulu are going to be.
Yeah.
It is going to be the Lulu mid on Moya, and it's going to be the Vlad top on Naguya.
Yeah, I feel like Lulu does a much better job against Azir, being able to shield off a lot of that damage, can answer with her own push potential, whereas the top lane Vlad versus Maokai, depending on if they swap or not, Vlad's going to be able to keep himself sustained, while Maokai also has himself some sustain.
Yeah, and having the shield, you definitely don't want the Vlad versus Azir matchup. I feel like the Azir would just walk all over you, so definitely the right decision to put the Vlad into the top. You can harass the Maokai a little bit, though it's still a difficult matchup at best for the Vladimir. But it's going to be a lot better than that in the mid lane.
Yeah, Vlad's a champion that wants to constantly be using his spells off cooldown to keep himself healthy, which in turn benefits Maokai because his passive will get stacked very quickly. So it's kind of like a double-edged sword.
Yeah, it's similar to that, definitely. And you can see, even with the Hecarim and Maokai matchups, you can see Maokai is a favorable pick because of the amount of spamming that comes out from the enemy hero. You don't have to use all of the mana yourself. You can start with a Doran's Ring and sustain anyway with only 2 pots. Yeah,
definitely. So if we look down at the bot lane, we have touched on this a little bit with Sivir versus Lucian, Janna versus Thresh. It would be interesting to see who has the upper hand in this one, because both formidable lane opponents.
Yeah, we said before the Janna Lucian, it's very much on the back of the Lucian to hit the piercing lights and just have the shield from the Janna. You're not really going to be able to use your Tornado or anything offensively onto the Sivir because of that spell shield being available. So it does entirely come down to the Lucian if we're looking at the team of Fortnite. But for Sin, Thresh can make plays. Thresh can hit both of them. They don't have spell shields. It's very possible that either member of Sin can do plays.
Alright, awesome. And with that, we'll be jumping onto the Rift to see how Game 3 turns out for either team.
Yeah, we're looking to have a very standard start again here from Sin. They're going out and having a fan start again from the looks of it, not invading this time. Whereas 4-0 just seemed to be a little bit slow out of the spawn.
Yeah, that with the spawn gate, there's no real excuse for that these days. And the extra speed boosts get you there on time. Azir doesn't really have much of a choice of what he's going to skill at level 1. So just using that Sand Soldier, dancing with it to get a little bit of vision. But like you said, the fans start out for both teams by the looks of it.
Yeah, fairly defensive. They don't need to invade, I suppose, to see what the other team's going to do. 4-0 are not going to force the Vlad into a lane swap. I feel like that's most likely a mistake.
Yeah, okay.
He would just get completely denied, and it would just be bad. The Maokai can do a lane swap, though. So if any team were to force a 2v1, it would have been Sin Gaming. Though they have decided they want, unless they do it late now, which it looks like they may do, and Maokai's just going to start with the Raptors.
Yeah. Yeah, and it looks like, Maokai just can easily stack up those saplings on top of the Wraith camp, getting all 3. Do you think he'll stay for the big one or just recall?
Well, knowing that they have forced the lane swap, there is a chance that the Maokai may just stay, take the big Raptor and get some extra experience. And then what generally happens, because you're the team forcing the lane swap, Maokai can do the Raptors by himself. He may decide to then go to Wolves. I'm not sure if that was meant to go over the wall and reveal the Maokai or not.
If it was, it would have been would have revealed their strategy straight off. But if they're doing that and that was the intention, they would know. They already assumed that is the ploy. So it looks like we have standard jungle starts for the team 4-0. Jarvan just doing the Krugs with the help of his bot lane. Vi having to do that herself, and it looks like just a traditional freeze in the top from Stealth X and Flying G.
Yeah, they're doing exactly what they were hoping to do, and that is deny the Vladimir from as much as possible. You don't want to hard push it into the tower. There's no real purpose, whereas we can see 4-0 opting to push in a little bit harder than that of Sin.
Yeah, Vlad, even though he does have spells, they have very short range, so anytime he wants to get in for maybe even a little bit of gold, he's going to feel the wrath of a death sentence. So he's just going to have to sit back and get experience. And we see not Juves and points, a bit of double jungling, or do you think potential dive?
They could do either way here. So they're going to go for the blue buff. And you can see the pings coming out from 4-0, very aware of the fact that they don't want the Vladimir to be dove.
Yeah.
If he gets dove and if he dies, he's going to lose a lot of experience. There's Janna flashing for some reason. And yeah.
That is unfortunate. Maybe she thought... I don't know. I don't think I can back that one up. But, yeah, really aggressive flash, hoping for Jarvan to back her up. But, oh, no, this is looking really bad. But, oh, thank God for Zaldo. He was able to get out of there. But may not fare so well for Naya. Oh, and the team of Sin turn away at the last minute. They were both on the cusp of fighting, but neither team really seeing each other. It's a situation where one team goes in the door and the other come out, but Zaldo being a little bit too predictable, walking back to the top lane, and that's going to be first blood for Maokai. And on top of that, it may be a dive onto Vladimir.
Yeah, points not having mana may not help this a little bit. He's just going to be there to tank, but they're going in.
Yeah, it looks like the Ignite comes off straight away, and once the pool is down, I don't see him surviving this. But burning a flash for his troubles, still not really worth it.
It's definitely worth it for the team of Sin here. They've completely denied the Vladimir, but they're not going to be able to push anything. And they're now in a 4v1 with the Jarvan, who's going to be fairly confident because they've got no health.
Narrowly missing a death sentence there that could have spelt the end, as he did just use the Demacian standard. The flag and drag wasn't going to be in his arsenal for escapes. But it looks like CNJ just getting a nice, easy lane to freeze. Push, rather. But here comes the Maokai teleporting down. He has already completed a few items. Oh, not completed a few items, bought a few items, got a few potions and a few wards. Going to keep himself topped up in this lane.
I think the decision for Maokai to be involved in a dive against a Vladimir was a mistake for Sin here. The amount of farm that actually just went missing for points because he didn't teleport in the bot lane. CNJ was hard pushing, and he definitely should have reacted and teleported as soon as possible.
Yeah.
He would have been getting free farm in the bot lane. Instead, he is now 11 CS behind the Vladimir, who has just been dove.
Lucky for him, he was able to pick up that first blood gold, so it's not all tears for points right now. But like you said, a lot of CS missed for just an assist where 3 men probably would have sufficed for a dive in the top lane.
At the very least, maybe not even the dive, more so just zoning, keeping away. They knew the Janna was dead. There was no real way for the Vladimir to feel safe under the tower. They could have tried to push him away, maybe, but I still think that the Maokai probably should have teleported earlier to just secure that lead, keep the lead up on the Vladimir.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we see just before we saw Azir just doing so much damage to Lulu under tower, really just knowing the limits of his champions, knowing how much he can get away with without any fear of rebuttal. And it looks like we have not Jews coming here in the bot lane. It looks like a nice engage from Maokai. The Vault Breaker is charging. Will it be enough? The flash not coming out. But Jarvan is here also. Looks like CNJ baiting in. The flag and drag knocks up. The flash comes out, but the smite is enough to slow him for CNJ to pick up a nice kill. I don't know why they committed so much if he wasn't going to flash for it.
No, the second that the Vault Breaker missed, they definitely should have backed off. It was a little bit over-aggressive, trying to force some damage onto the Lucian to push him out of lane. Didn't really work like that, though, and they've now given a free kill to the Lucian, who is starting to be massive.
From a great start to a spiraling staircase of problems here for 4Not. So hopefully, we did see this last game, and they were able to recuperate and show us some great team fights, but it will be interesting to see if they can do it again this game with a Vladimir.
Yeah, and granted, the problems aren't massive. They're just small things that are consistently happening. Now you can see the gold lead is still 300 gold in favor of Sin. They've got a kill advantage. There's no dragon for either team, so they're still sitting pretty. There's no real issue. They're trying to deny the Vlad as much as possible. The problem is the Maokai is being denied just as much.
Yeah, even more so if you look at the CS differential. But it looks like we have a little bit of trading blows in the mid lane. Moya being able to run out of the range of the Sand Soldiers, which just negates so much damage out of Azir. But looks like Jarvan, getting flung back into the tower. But here comes a flash. Ignite Q from Moya. And really over-aggressive by Rhymaster. He could have just backed off without fear. But then comes in Juves and no, Naya's just going to flag and drag out of there. But like I said, Rhymaster, he could have just gotten away with that ultimate and just said, how you going? But stayed and paid it for his life.
Exactly. You can see good, strong mechanics coming out. They're very confident here on the side of Sin. They're making the plays. You can see that it was a good ultimate to get rid of the Jarvan, force him under tower, and then over-aggressive just to do a little bit of damage instead of backing off and Lulu getting a free kill, a needless free kill. Similar to what happened in the bot lane a minute earlier.
Sin starting to show cracks in their armor, but Moya knowing the full potential of his champion combined with the Ignite, able to just flash in so aggressive and just take it out. But it looks like everyone just going back to their lanes and farming. A really big discrepancy in CS between Sin and 4Not. 4Not coming out the victors in the laning phase so far.
Yeah, they're coming out very far ahead in CS given that the lane swap was forced by Sin. Questionable decision now in retrospect, but mid lane still ahead by about 15 CS, so he's doing okay. And Azir scales quite well, so that'll be the focal point of Sin from here on out, I believe, to carry them through the mid-game stages.
Yeah, it was a good strategy, just met with poor execution, unfortunately. But it looks like Zaldo might be caught out of position here, but Vladimir does get the 3-man ultimate, but I think it may be his own demise. But here comes Naya with a miss flag and drag, unfortunately, because Vlad did pull it. Is he going to survive? No, the Ignite is going to be enough to finish him off. And looks like this team fight is still going to be going on with Rhymaster just standing at the back as Azir doing so much damage. That is so far a 2 for none. Sin just really taking what looked like a bad fight and turning it into a win.
Well, they managed to pick off the Janna straight away.
Yeah.
Janna dying instantly was a big deal for them being able to get a strong fight. They're going to look to do the Dragon now, and it was another confidence play from Sin. This time, it just went in their favor because they fought as much as they needed to. They killed the appropriate targets, and now they're backing off for an objective. They're not getting over-aggressive. They're not trying to do more than they think they can, just because they're confident.
Yeah, that Vladimir ultimate hitting 3 members, just providing so much extra damage at this stage of the game that really allowed them to just get the extra damage that they needed to win that team fight. So it's very interesting to see 4Not try and keep that fight alive after the Janna had already been killed. Just cut your losses, go back, farm your jungle, make sure they can't do the Dragon. But unfortunately, that right now wasn't the case. The Dragon was picked up for Sin. They have had good control of the Dragon these past few games. Yeah,
they're very on top of the Dragons, or at least knowing when the Dragons are being done to... If they can't fight them, they'll still know when the next one's up. They're very aware of what is going on across the map. And the Vladimir did hit the 3-man ultimate, but the Janna was already dead. You could see 4Not, they kind of had a do-or-die kind of moment there for no particular reason where they said, well, we may as well go in. Vlad just hit a sick ultimate. Didn't really work out in their favor.
No, unfortunately not. And we just see everyone returning back to their lanes now, but actually not, as we have the two bot lane going into mid, just trying to push that in, maybe get some damage on the mid tower. Probably the most important tower of the game, opens up so much of the map. So it will be interesting to see if they go for it. But it looks like not Juve's just going to be freezing it. They really want Sivir to get some extra gold here.
Yeah, they're giving Sivir as much gold as possible. Maybe even giving a Relic Shield stack to Thresh, as we saw.
Yeah, yeah.
Very interesting rotation from both teams here. They've put the Sivir and the Thresh mid, I think, as a reaction to the fact that Lucian has been mid for upwards of 2 minutes right now. And they've actually had Rymeister in the bot lane farming against the Lulu, who has now rotated in response instead of moving the Lucian back down.
Yeah, it seems like both teams are letting each other dictate portions of the map rather than just trying to control the whole thing. You see Fornot showing up mid with their AD and support, Sin showing up mid with the AD support, but instead of just rotating back to the favorable lane, they just try to match it.
Yeah, it feels like Sin have always been the ones doing the active maneuvers, whereas Fornot have tended to be a bit more reactive. But in this case, Fornot putting the Lucian mid, Sin are just reacting, and it's back and forth with what's actually happening, but barely any kills to speak of whatsoever.
Yeah, and Azir going for that Chalice of Harmony. Really smart against, and as I say that, an amazing initiate, able to get the soldier charge and smacking him back into the tower. I didn't even see that coming. That was so good. And the flash over into Zaldo, the Assault and Battery. This looks like a dead Janna. Maybe not, as she does interrupt the Vault Breaker with her Tornado. Really well timed. I hope she meant that, or it wasn't just a panic cue.
Fantastic timing, and it's working out really well for Sin. You can see that Azir sec was absolutely sick. He did exactly what needed to. Lucian overly aggressive, using the Relentless Pursuit towards Azir, managing to get the free, or the knock-up, I suppose, from the Azir E, allowing a free ultimate, and worked out so well for the team. They got a free kill on the Lucian. Fortnite tried to get a kill in the top lane, Point surviving. They may get the tower, though, and it's going to be one tower for one, but there's going to be a kill traded here in favor of Sin.
Yeah, so like you said, Points being able to escape that one, using up a lot of Naya's time, but they are going to get a tower for their troubles. But they lost a tower, a kill, and a lot of damage on that inner. So worth? Probably not. And like you said, C&J, maybe a bit of needless aggression there, costing him his life and a lot of map presence. Yeah,
definitely needless aggression, and it was, I guess, overexcited to try and make a play and really force the fact that he is ahead at the moment. As Vlad coming in here and just tanking the tower and saying g'day before leaving again.
Yeah, it looks like Jarvan was standing on top of a ward, but after smiting the Raptors, he is going to see it. Not take it out, though. Azir, just so much range in combination with damage. Just really good to see a proficient Azir player knowing the limits of his champion.
Yeah, and he hasn't even really ramped up yet in terms of damage. Hasn't not even finished a single core item, which is looking to be the Athenes in this case. And still doing a lot of work. You could see if he manages to hit ultimates like he has for the rest of the game, it's going to be quite scary in the teamfight stages of this game.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to seeing CNJ and how he deals with the aggressiveness shown from Rymeister. That's, I think, the second time he's tried to dive in for a play. And like you said, getting the Insect-esque ultimate out will be interesting to see how if he can do any more.
Well, there's no shortage of aggression coming out of Fortnite here. They're always going in when they find an opportunity, and it might just play into the hands of Sin here if they are aggressive at the wrong time. You can tell they're very good at capitalizing on mistakes here, Sin, and just engaging and going in. Yeah. Even if it's too hard, they're still going to go in. So coming into the late game, if there is a mistake and they go in and capitalize, it'll do a lot of work in favor of Sin.
Yeah, I feel like that's definitely been a theme for this game. Sin capitalizing on mistakes. So it will be interesting to see if they can keep it up. We just see the Dragon coming up in 45 seconds. So as teams do, they're going to be getting that map control down. But I don't know. Oh, but here comes Naya from the bottom. The Vladimir ult is running. The pop is going to come out, but the Maokai ult surviving so much. Is this going to be a kill? It looks like it. Points having nowhere to go, but maybe no. Unfortunately, the slow from Arcane Smash was not enough to deny the Jarvan dunk.
Yeah, no flash available for the Maokai. Saving the ultimate that entire time was Jarvan there, and only really didn't want to use it. I get that feeling. He didn't want to use it, but he had to secure the kill because, well, Maokai lived for a ridiculous amount of time. Finished the Righteous Glory. Provides a lot for him in terms of escape.
ouch, that's Boomerang Blade just doing so much damage on the back end. And yeah, like you said, the Maokai ult just providing him with so much free stats, essentially. And Jarvan holding onto his ult, great patience, but in the end did have to blow it for the kill here. So this looks like it might be a contested dragon. We do see teleport up for Vlad, but he is walking there. 2 wards go in, a little bit of vision from the Ardent Blaze. A lot of damage coming out. The flag has gone over, but it looks like Juves is going straight in onto CNJ. He is stuck between a rock and a group of sand soldiers, but not banging him into the wall. He's going to survive for an amazing amount of time, and it's going to be a 1-for-1 so far. Flying Jew getting taken really low, but Janna gets taken out first, and the Azir soldiers are just shredding through everyone. The shield providing him with that extra survivability he needs, and this looks like it could be an ace for Team Sin.
And that is exactly the fight that Sin wanted. It was not really a good idea to engage that if you're 4-0. 2 ultimates not being available there. Lucian still has his available to be used, so he just got decimated. The Azir did ridiculous amounts of damage, and Stealthix was free hitting from start to finish in that fight. The front line from Sin did a lot of work.
It was really impressive to see. Once they saw Naya use that Demacian standard in the pit, that was the trigger for the engage. They knew that Jarvan, he's stuck back there unless he wants to get in through the pit. If we can situate this fight towards the bot lane, he's going to have to walk the whole way around. That's exactly what they did. Commendments to Moya and Zaldo keeping CNJ alive, and yeah, we're going to see that replay.
So this particular replay, you can see Juice hitting a ridiculously good ultimate there, securing, and the Azir ultimate, as you said, caught between a sand soldier and a rock. And the rest of the team fight from there, just watch the amount of work that the sand soldiers actually do here for Rymeister. Unbelievable amount of damage, and such good control of where his soldiers' placements were, and secured an easy fight for them there.
And I feel like it's important to note that Maokai wasn't even there until the fight was basically over. Can you imagine how much more the fight would have been won by with a Maokai ult on them the entire time?
Yeah, Maokai coming in late didn't even seem to have an impact. They did have ults down as the hook goes in.
Yeah, Vladimir is going to be able to pull out of that one. A lot of damage coming down from Lucian ult. Here comes the Righteous Glory. It looks like Team Sin want to reinitiate on this. CNJ just getting a nice few auto attacks, but going to disengage.
A little bit overzealous there with the attempted reinitiation from Sin, knowing that there weren't certain spells available, such as the pull for the use by the Vladimir, and trying to push a lead. They saw an opportunity, but it was a little bit too late, I think, to capitalize on anything there.
Yeah, it would have been interesting to see if they'd gotten caught up to them, what they planned to do next. Because like you said, with Vlad without the pull, he's not going to have much escapability. The Thresh just being able to get some nice hooks, force these long cooldowns, and really just open up the map for potential plays.
Yeah, and definitely in control here as Sin Gaming. The gold lead's not massive, but the momentum is definitely in favor of their team right now. 5-1-4 on the Azir. Has the Stinger finished as well as the Athenes and Sork Shoes, working towards what looks to be a Seekers for the Zonias. He is going to be very, very scary once he finishes that item.
Yeah, all that extra cooldown reduction just giving him so much attack speed. Every attack the soldiers do just cleaving through multiple members on top of the already massive damage from just chucking the sand soldiers in himself. And he has got some good ultimates. It was surprised that CNJ didn't do that bounce that they do when Azir hits them into terrain. So yeah, it looks like we do see a fight erupting in the bot lane. CNJ getting taken super low. The Janna shield combined with the Monsoon, not going to be enough to let him survive. Naya is in right on top of them, about to be with the Cataclysm. Wow. Just so much damage coming up. Here comes the Azir Tower. Probably going to be used just for a little bit of decorative, because it is definitely not necessary in the fight.
That team fight just went absolutely perfectly. I said it last time, but this time was even more so. The amount of synergy between them all going in at the same time. It looked like they got caught out of position a little bit, but they out-traded CNJ, managing to secure the kill there. Stealthix did a lot of work, flashing away from the Vladimir, who was then caught out of position.
Yep.
I think they were even all stuck in the Jarvan ultimate when Sin reinitiated and caught them all there. The Azir ultimate knocking them all out of that wall, and in fact just securing the fact that they were all dead from that period on.
Yeah, it was a very messy fight for 4-0, not using their abilities quite as in harmony as one would hope. Where on the other side, Sin just going all in at once, just relentless aggression, as we've mentioned before. The Vi just initiate. Maokai, just damage reduction. Azir, just so much AoE potential. It is really good to see these champions being played in such harmony.
Yeah, we've got like a 7,000 gold lead now as the Azir turret decides to self-destruct. It's going very in favor of Sin now. 2 very successful fights, 2 big advantages in momentum and control of the map now. Stealthix is going to be so aggressive. He's a support, by the way, with 11 assists and not a single kill.
Oh, wow.
Still doing an absurd amount of damage. He's going to be able to carry the team without even the Azir there.
Yeah, Janna picking up that Soul Stealer, probably regretting it right about now, going 0-4-2, not really being able to get the assist to stack that up, which is what she wants. Thresh, on the other hand, like you mentioned, 11 assists. That's nearly a part of every kill. He's just doing exactly what his team needs. And then you look over at Stealthix as well, 0-0-11. You hate to beat as an AD carry, but just as I say that, Zaldo being caught out a little bit. Looks like the Lulu ult was used, but it's not going to be enough to save his life as the dive comes out on Moya. Is he going to be able to escape this one? No, he's not. And now CNJ is the next target for Rymaster's relentless aggression. But maybe he's bit off more. He can chew as the far side orb does reveal him. And the fight continues on with Stealthix. Probably going to pop from this Vladimir ult. No, not even necessary. But there is Flying Dew, able to get the Maokai over. Not going to be able to save his life as points at CNJ just have a little bit of a rumble-tumble. Not going to be able to escape him. Maybe. No, the knock-up does come out of Naya. Points just going to accept his death. No, maybe not.
Just an advance.
Is that going to be enough with the pop of the ult? Yes, it is. They trade 1-for-1, but an ace in favor of 4-0. And just as we say, Sin are in complete control, they make us eat our words once again.
Well, there goes that control that we just spoke about, doesn't it? A little bit aggressive. I'd say a lot aggressive, in fact. The Azir using his ultimate just to try and secure a Janna. They did get the Janna, but then the rest of the team just decided to continue diving.
Yeah.
And went way too deep. CNJ not being the focus at the start of this fight. They did go for the Janna and then the Lulu. He was able to get a lot of free damage down before they actually tried to switch their focus to him. And by that stage, the Azir didn't have anything left to offer and got killed.
No, they... Sin just had to try and get through towers at that stage. Vi altered probably a little bit over-aggressively because CNJ was able to get right in between his outer and inhibitor turret, providing him with so much defense. So it was interesting to see them go for that dive.
Yeah, that's right. But the third dragon's coming up now, so there is a positive to take from this. It's still 10-18 in kills, and the gold lead is still 5,000 in favor of Sin. It was just a small hiccup. And they look to take this maybe contested, maybe uncontested as we see what happens.
comes in through the back. Unfortunately, not going to be able to get the smite in time. Does flash out of there right after that. Looks like the Righteous... No, not the Righteous Glory. The Crab giving them the speed boost they need to get back to mid lane. Protect that tower from any shenanigans. The Death Center's missing from Flying Dew. But yeah, another dragon in favor of Sin. That's the third one of the game.
That's right. Third dragon to 0 at the moment, which is big because, as I said last game, it sort of cements a win condition for Sin now. They can go for the 5-dragon closeout, or at least attempt to. They need to be able to keep the lead they've got now, though, and not try and throw it any further than they just did in the last fight.
Yeah, look at that damage just onto 3 members without ever putting himself in any real risk. That is the power Azir brings to the table.
Yeah, but not to mention the amount of shields that CNJ was just receiving from the Janna and Lulu. It's going to be very difficult to get through a shield that big.
Oh, yeah, the multiple shields coming out. Ooh, he had a lot of targets there and was still able to miss them all, unfortunately. But yeah, it looks like CNJ has completed his Bloodthirster, so that's 3 potential shields. Going to be keeping him very safe. All that, still full health.
Yeah. Thankfully, you can note that Azir was doing a lot of damage there, and that's why the shield was gone so quickly. So the shield may not do a whole lot if they can get onto him effectively.
Depends how long he's going to be able to stay in range of the Azir Sand Soldiers. But look at that. Just CNJ, even though he has been caught out for his regression, not slowing down. I like that. It means that it's not just like overconfidence, it's constant confidence. He knows his ability. He knows that, oh, I can't dive anymore. They'll just kill me again. He's not losing any of his vigor in these aggressive plays.
Well, he's got the team behind him to do it. As we just mentioned, you know, the double shields. He's got the overshield from the Bloodthirster, and they're going in.
Looks like an ult onto Naya right now, but the Lulu ult to counter that. She's staying alive for so long, but Lulu gets blown up in a heartbeat, followed by Jarvan, keeping them all locked in for the duration of that Cataclysm, and that looks like it's going to be a Baron.
So once again, Sin being the ones making the active decisions and not reacting to anything from 4-0. They're rotating smartly, they're rotating quickly and with confidence in what they're going to do, and Vlad has something to say.
Yeah, it looks like a nice ultimate onto 2 members. Flying Dew's going to get popped, yet there he does. So an unsuccessful Baron attempt. That was very aggressive by them. I feel like Sivir took way too much damage. They should have just backed off. Both the carries were about 40 to 30% health. Like, the Baron, it's a throw pit, as we've all said before, but could it have thrown enough? The gold lead is still quite in favor of Sin.
Yes, Sivir taking a lot of damage from the Baron before the rest of the team even rotated to start it or tank it for her. Kind of a mistake there, but the rest of the team, you see Vladimir still having the ultimate available, Lucian still having the ultimate available. It's going to help them a lot for winning that team fight. And they took so much damage from the Baron, it reduces your resistances. They were just caught in a bad position. Maybe they shouldn't have gone for the Baron. Maybe they should have just took the 2 kills, secured some control around the Baron, and just gone back for their red buff and called it a day for at least a little while. Yeah,
it's very hard to say no to that objective, though, once you've killed 2 members and you feel like you're healthy, because you deceptively... the amount of health you have before you start attacking that Baron can change very quickly if the tank's not there to tank it for you. So yeah, Sivir was on full health, and after about 2 auto attacks, down to about 40%. So yeah, a lot of teams tend to put too much kind of focus on that Baron, but no, Vladimir not caught shopping this time.
No, Sin in typical Sin fashion, grouping up and trying to find a pick, as they've been doing so well all game. Seeing the Vlad recalling, but deciding to hook a minion and say, this could have been you if you were a little bit closer. And Vlad just getting a free recall. They're going to take the tower, though. Yeah, the tower does fall, but it looks like both teams are poised around the Baron. We're going to see who's going to strike first. And if history repeats itself, Sin Gaming's aggression looks like here it comes with the Sivir ulti combined with the Righteous Glory out of Maokai. The Vladimir ult straight onto 3 members. They are changing their aggression onto CNJ. He does get ulted, but he's not taking any damage. The shields combined with Lulu ultimate are too much. No one to fall yet, but there goes Flying Dew, the first one out of the fight. CNJ still full health. Azir taking out Jarvan in the backline, but I do believe this fight is going to go into the favor of 4 not, because so much damage, so much survivability coming out of CNJ. I think Rymaster has commanded the last Saiyan soldiers for this period of time. He certainly has. In that team fight, you thought it was Sin initiating. It's exactly what they were doing, but it's not going in favor of them. They're initiating on the Vladimir, who's then just ultimate, uses that Tides of Blood, gets the pull down, and then you can't focus him anymore. The CNJ was on full health for so long. Oh, Moya going a little bit too aggressive there, but no need to worry, because Zaldo has his back with a nice Monsoon. This looks like it will be an inhibitor tower, but the hook does come in from Zaldo, but the shields upon shields upon shields. I watched CNJ get completely focused by an Azir and a Vi and come away from it with full HP. It just goes to show how valuable the protect the AD carry comps can be if played correctly. Yeah, not even a kink in the armor of CNJ by the end of the fight there, just because he had so much protection. And you've got the Janna and the Lulu, and they're going for the Vladimir first. The biggest team fight win condition here for Sin is to kill CNJ. Yeah, I know. Because their aggression is pretty telegraphed. They're all going to be running in a straight line towards you. They can just... it allows 4 not to just kind of back off a bit, allow Vlad to stand in the front line and say, if you want to fight, I'm here, let's go. Ultimate down, pull down, what now? Well, I guess the positive again from this is Dragon being up again, as I said before, is the big win condition, the big way that Sin get ahead in this game, or at least try and force a fight that may not be favourable for Fortnite, is by making them come to this Dragon pit, and that's exactly what they're doing. Well, that's the thing. I feel like the last few fights haven't been favourable for Fortnite, despite the gold differential. But looks like Vladimir is caught in here, but here comes Jarvan with a 3-man Cataclysm. The Vlad ult hitting 3 people as well. It looks like points will get taken out immediately by the Vi in the backline, going straight for CNJ, but he's going in. At the same time, the Rymaster being able to zone use that one, and the Sand Soldier's doing so much. Could this be a potential penta? No, it does. Looks like Lulu going to be getting away with the speed boost from herself and Janna. Well, they managed to get a lot of damage there onto CNJ, and that is the big difference. They're going to be able to at least try and do this, but it seems like Lulu and Janna are something to say. Oh, she walks right into that shield. The Monsoon, a little bit too late. I don't think it would have mattered, but that's going to be the 4th Dragon to Sin. No, apparently what they had to say was, that was close, and that was a great hook from Flying Dew. That's now 4 Dragons coming down for Sin. They're 1 off their big 5 Dragon buff of winning the game. Well, not directly winning, but at least making it significantly easier to do so. So Sin is still in a good position even though Fortnite seem like they're winning every team fight.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for CNJ to survive with that 5th dragon, giving so much extra damage and ability power along with that burning effect. So it will be interesting to see just how much the shields are going to save him now, because that last fight, they weren't able to chunk through it. And he met... What I like about CNJ is he meets aggression with aggression. He sees Vi going on him, and instead of thinking, oh my god, I got to run, it's Vi, he just goes, no, I'm going to come in and help my team. And just like that, he was able to make what looked like a really bad fight into a less of a bad fight. But yeah, as you have a chuckle Zaldo being taken very low by that Baron.
Yeah, the Baron was a little bit angry there. Thank you to the saplings showing Zaldo who's boss and pushing him away. But what I really loved about that last fight was the use of the Azir wall.
Oh.
And the placement of that wall was actually perfect. Blocked anyone from getting in to help the Jarvan. They killed the Jarvan. And then the amount of work that the Azir did getting the triple almost looked like he was going for the Penta. Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it was beautiful play out of Rhymeister just here. Like I said, being able to use those Azir ults to such proficiency is really what separates the good from the great.
And don't act surprised by what Sin are doing right now as if they haven't done it 17 times already. They're sitting in one spot as 5, looking to make a pick with the Thresh hook, followed up by the Vi, and then decimate whoever that person is. Hopefully CNJ,
yeah.
Sin.
He seems to be the #1 priority on their hit list right now.
And so he should be. As mentioned multiple times, the amount that he has to at least give him utility with all the shields, the support that he is given from the rest of the team. If you don't kill him first, I don't think he'll die at all.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be going for his Infinity Edge now, getting that as his 3rd item, going for a lot more of a bit of utility on the Bloodthirster, some Armor Pen on the Last Whisper, and that wave clear potential on the Static Shiv. But now the real guns are coming out, the big threats from the Infinity Edge.
Yeah, he's going to be doing a massive amount of work now. He's got the Infinity Edge, or even when the Lucian finishes his Infinity Edge, which is well and truly on the way, that's going to ramp up a lot for Fortnite, and that's going to be a big team fight point in the game.
Don't stop aggression out of this guy.
We saw CNJ do what CNJ do.
Yeah, when you've got a Lulu and a Janna behind you, there's not much you can do and not get away with it.
That's exactly. I just look to see him continue to do that from here on out. The death cap finished, by the way, now for the Azir is a big talking point for that hero.
12, 3, and 9, just rolling in the gold, rolling in the ability power here.
And you have to feel a little bit sad for this Sivir.
Oh, look at the damage coming out. Azir, all that ability power doesn't matter if you're dead in 2 seconds. But Sivir being able to take out Jarvan in the process, CNJ on the backline, doing a lot of damage to points. Is he going to have to flash over this wall? He will. So even with Azir dying, Fortnite are going to be able to push up really aggressively. Jarvan dying rather. And that's an open inhibitor.
Yeah, they should be able to take this inhibitor. It may be contested, but CNJ, have a look at the shield again. Just oh my god.
It's like, you're not getting through that shield without your Azir, pretty much.
Yes.
Unless you get a few good crits from your Infinity Edge, a few good Sand Soldier swipes. He's just going to be standing tall, standing hard. It's going to be really hard to kill.
Yeah, he's going to be keeping it crispy. Stealthic's not doing a whole lot of damage by himself. Granted, he does have 19 assists and finally got a kill on the board. So
beautiful.
Well done to him. Finally has a kill. He's going to be feeling a lot better about himself now, but it does come down almost entirely to the Azir and the amount of damage that the Azir can put out. The rest of the team, you got Maokai building entirely tanky. Vi, pretty much entirely tanky, even going for that Cinder Hulk as Vi.
Oh, really?
Which is very different, yeah. And then the Thresh, who's just a Thresh. So he's going to provide utility, but is not going to be any form of damage. So it does come down to not happening what just did before if you're a Rhymaster, not getting caught out of position.
Yeah, Dragon didn't even have the time to use his Zonias, I do believe.
No, he did not have the time to use his Zonias. I probably wouldn't have used it anyway, to be perfectly fair. He was very, very, very dead. But Dragon in 1 minute and 10 seconds, that is the big thing.
Yeah, Fortnite cannot afford to give up another Dragon at this stage. It would just be detrimental to their efforts of winning the game. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get the good wards and really get a team fight that they want. But Sin Gaming's team fight around Dragon has been so on point.
And I keep alluding to the fact that they all sit in one spot. And they just keep doing it, so I'm just going to keep doing that. With it up, it's up very soon. And if they don't go for this, if Fortnite don't go for this, they're essentially throwing away their own chance at winning the game. And as you said, they've been doing so well, winning team fights left, right, and center, that thankfully the Lantern comes out there and saves Juice,
He missed the Vault Breaker.
Unfortunately missed that Q.
Like, that would have been his flash, and there goes his reliable form of initiate. Because
Yes.
if that Vault Breaker misses, the follow-up damage from Vi isn't actually as strong as some might think.
Yeah, and given the fact that he has the Cinder Hulk, his damage isn't going to be too high anyway, so he does need to hit every spell if he's looking to have an impact.
Yeah,
Fornot, though, they don't want to fight the Dragon. They want to force Sin to come to bot lane.
Well, that's the thing, because so far their attempts at countering the Dragon have just been met with destruction. So taking a nice tower will give them that little bit of gold, a little bit of map pressure, falling back to the Dragon because they can't give it up. But it looks like, yeah, they will be doing so much damage. Here comes Vi. She's going to be able to steal it. She gets it, so the 5 Dragons are on for this fight. Looks like Zaldo in the backline just trying to split up the fight, but here comes Naya doing so much damage to Juice despite the the Dragon buff, rather. He is able to take out Lulu as he dies himself, but Vlad just doing so much on top of Flying Dew. Naya trying to peel, but not doing too much. Here comes Rymaster. Is he going to be able to survive this? He does still have his ultimate available. Another triple kill. So a 5 for 3 in despite having the Dragon buff.
Juves is a hero. Giving his team the Dragon 5 buff is what won them that fight. At least 3 going down still. It's going to be painful. They may not be able to utilize the Dragon just yet and push anything. But they actually won that fight because he smited the Dragon away.
We definitely would have been singing a different song had that smite gone into favor of Naya. So really just clutch, just coming up clutch. Right?
Yeah, clutch is the perfect word to describe it. You could see the amount of damage that was followed up after getting that Dragon though. Stealthix and Rymeister weren't necessarily in the fight for quite a while. You could see Rymeister was actually focusing Janna for the first 5 to 10 seconds, and Stealthix had to flash over the wall and walk all the way back around. Still working out in their favor at the end, so speaks volumes for how much work the 5th Dragon buff did.
And it showed, because Azir didn't even use his ultimate until the end of the fight, so not even having that displacement effect along with a kind of cutting off portions of the map and really zoning them into like a little bit of a narrow funnel. Just saving that for the end, not saving it, but not really getting an opportunity to use it and still winning the fight. Yeah,
not really finding a situation where it would have been optimal to even use it. He wasn't close enough in range to the Lucian. Rightly so, of course. You don't want to be next to the Lucian when he hits you. You want to be as far away as possible.
Of course.
And not having to use the ultimate, saving it, managing to secure the Jarvan kill with that ultimate. And now...
another sneaky ward. No, it is seen. It just looked like they were walking around it. I was going to say that is quite in range of the pink ward.
That definitely was in range of the pink ward. They're just securing vision across the river now near the Baron area. Fornot responding by walking in the one area where they have a ward, and the Scuttlebug revealing the fact that it's being done.
It's getting taken incredibly low. It does get taken up by Sivir, so no smite, but Naya gets blown up before he even gets a chance to do anything. Zaldo, though, knocking Vi away, and in the backlines, Vlad doing so much. CNJ just staying alive, but so far, no one from Sin Gaming has fallen, so this is a 0 for 2. It looks like the fight isn't over yet, but as Juve's Vault Breaker's in the mid, it looks like he wants to try and get a mid push. But CNJ, call him Singe, because he is proxying the wave in front of 5 very strong members and a tower. But it doesn't even look like they need it. They have 1 caster minion, and that's all they need to siege down an inhibitor turret. But it looks like CNJ and Zaldo will be going for an inhibitor.
Well, weirdly enough, it's a smart rotation from Fornot here.
This is definitely making the best of a bad situation. Will they be able to get it in time? Because the Empowered Recall coming out of the Baron buff, he is going to be able to get it, but will CNJ pay for it with his life? I think he will, as Zaldo running away from that one.
Yeah, and that's a really bad position to be in. Now you've lost CNJ, and he was the one doing a lot of work. I love the tower put down, by the way, from Azir. He was zoning them away so they could just freely take the inhibitor. Smart rotation to take the inhibitor in response, though, here from Fornot. Not going to be able to do much, though, with CNJ being dead, and it's now Sin's position to do whatever they like for as long as he's gone, which is 30 more seconds.
But no, I like that you mentioned that they were able to just think really on their feet that, no, I can't defend this. There's an open inhibitor. We can go get this. So that's probably going to keep them alive for a little bit longer in this game, but Sin just disregarding all fear of turrets and just diving a Vladimir under an inhibitor turret. The Baron buff is on. 5 members alive. Only 3 up for Fornot. 5 seconds on the Lucian. I don't think he's going to make it before this tower falls. So much damage coming out of the inhibitor Baroned up minions. Jarvan just falling. Janna falling. A double kill for Stealthix. Another tower going down. Lulu blinking red, but they're just going to ignore her. Let her go lick her wounds in the fountain, rather. And, oh, CNJ picking up one last kill, but to no avail, as the game is going to go in favor of Sin.
And you have to give Juves MVP for that game right there. Stealing away that 5th dragon enabled the rest of his team to do so much work and pull ahead in a team fight that otherwise probably would have gone quite badly for them. And Sin coming out ahead now, 2-1 in their favor.
Yeah, definitely, because as we saw, they were only able to scrape out a win even with 5 dragon to 0. So it's really impressive to see.
Yeah, and Rymeister had an immense showing right there on the Azir, showing how strong he is, and he is just so good at that champion.
Anyway, we'll leave it there for the second game, wrapped up in favor of Sin Gaming. That's a 2-1. Join us, will you, for Game 4.